Hi, everyone. Welcome to Grow Your Sage Powers. Learn how to shift any challenge into opportunity. In this webinar, we're going to first look at what is a sage power and then how to use them and how to basically like a simple method to tap into them. So, without further ado, let's look at like what is the framing of sage powers. There are 5 of them: empathy, exploration, innovation, navigation, and activation, being in action. The emphasized power is a fundamental basic. It's either we operate from empathy, from self-love, from gratitude, from compassion, or we operating from fear and scarcity. So empathy is really a key fundamental foundation to tap into the reservoir of possibility. Most of the time, we operate from the opposite, from the fear of lack, the fear of being hurt, the fear of not being appreciated. So it's the first power. The second power is explore or exploration. It's being fascinated by the conflict or the situation or the person, or having curiosity as the lead motivation to create a different reality. So exploration is really can be the difference between hardship or conflicting interaction and opportunity. When we bring curiosity to someone who's difficult and to find out what is behind the difficulty, we may discover opportunity and connection. The third power is innovation. It's creativity itself. When we actually in a dilemma or in conflict or in a hard situation, a little bit pausing and brainstorming about what are the other possibilities that can be in play, what can be create in this situation, that can actually bring us to some results and opportunity that were not there before. The fourth power is navigation. It's basically it's grounding ourselves in values from the future to bring it to the present moment. Like a question, what my elder self will suggest at this point in time, you may find that being nitpicking or being difficult or creating difficulty is actually not really something that you will remember or appreciate if you flash forward. So navigation into values that matters to you in the present moment can create a whole other set of tools and a new game. The fifth power is activate, is creating an action plan based on the navigation or the values that you created, as actually creating a laser focus action without any distraction. It's actually tapping into that place. You will find yourself achieving more in less time. So where the sage leads, where the sage, that consciousness or that light consciousness, you can say, because we have that light and shadow side, where it resides It lives in the region of the brain associated with positive emotion, peace and calm, clear-headed focus, creativity, and the ability to see the big picture, the big opportunity, or the big sense of values in the present moment. This is what operating from a sage perspective looks like, where most of the time we are operating from a place of self-sabotaging, or the negative or the shadow side of being attached to negative emotion, being anxious and full of worry, being scattered and confused, definitely not being creative or not creating opportunity to create or to innovate, and not being able to see beyond the circumstantial condition. So, to actually be in a sage power, the first thing we need to do is to intercept our shadow or our saboteur side, or negative side of our interaction. So first saboteur interceptor, then we can tap into a sage power, because it's kind of waking up to what can be a different experience, what can be a positive experience, even in a hard challenge. And then we need to actually be able to self-command our sage power to our will. We needed to develop a power of willing to will. So what is the saboteur interceptor muscle? So we talked about the sage perspective. Our saboteur generates, as I said before, all these negative emotion. I'm not going to repeat this. You can read it in the slide. And most of the time, actually, 3 to 1 thought are negative. 3 negative thoughts is the ratio to 1 positive situation, positive mental condition that it's usually the 3 to 1 ratio. So intercepting our negative emotion that are generated by our shadow side, or our limiting belief, some people call it, or our saboteurs, it requires the ability to discredit these voices, discredit these sabotaging entities. The self-command muscle is the ability to choose from a sage perspective versus from a perspective of limit or lack, or the perspective of our saboteurs' voices in our heads. So how can we actually come to that place of not stress over what we can't control? How can we push away self-doubt, recover from disappointments immediately, and spend little time in anger, regret, or blame, or shame? So the tool is using the sage perspective. If you're feeling negative emotion, we need to stop and identify that we are actually negative emotions that are probably generated by these entities in our heads. And we've been practicing or listening to these voices most of our lives. Then we need to do some positive IQ rep, or for short, PQ reps, some sort of like a form of meditation, being in our body, taking a pause, couple of long deep breaths, and noticing noticing the air in our nostril, noticing our hands together, can be eyes closed or eyes open, or noticing the face, detail of the face of the person in front of us, that will immediately shift from opinion to a sensation and to that stage of positive reflection or sage, or activate a sage perspective. When we assume a sage perspective, we will look at the issue at hand, whether it's a person, a circumstance, or even in ourselves. We will look at it as an opportunity to emphasize, explore, innovate, navigate, and activate. Finding a gift using the sage power will be generated by these 5 forces. First, we need to say to ourselves, what do I need to actually bring some sort of empathy to the situation, to the person in front of me, or to myself? How can I be curious about what's going on here? How can I initiate more creativity and calm in the situation? And what are the steps and the opportunities that we can take some actions on? So, with all this says, I want to invite you to actually be curious a little bit about this framework that I've been using in the last couple months, which made a huge difference in my own life, in my own ability to actually move fast through conflict or blockages, and actually turn them into opportunity and gift, and basically be able to create more while I'm enjoying myself, even if the situation is a little bit challenging, and create more in less time. I want to invite you to Positive Intelligence 7-week foundation, which the next one starts on October 21st. This 7-week program is designed like a mental fitness boot camp and combine weekly video sessions with daily app-guided focus of the day and practices to boost our 3 core of mental fitness muscle, which we pointed out. Saboteur interceptor, intercepting this limiting belief, gaining a sage perspective, and boosting our ability to make a quick choice or ability for self-command. So what is the time commitment? This program is designed for busy people that have a lot on their hands. It's 7-week duration. It's watching 1 hour weekly video or a class. It's commitment for 15 minutes a day of practicing, which of practice that will be generated on an app, practicing the saboteur interceptor and gaining a sage power, reading a chapter of a book called Positive Intelligence, and participate in a 30 minutes weekly in a week, each week, on a 30 minutes coaching session in a group setting. 7 sessions included in this program. So after 6 weeks, your positive IQ of mental fitness will shift. You will feel the change after 2 weeks. I promise you. And you will actually gain more happiness and joy and and motivation, even with difficult situation and difficult people. This program will shift your relationships, your performance, and your wellness. So the logistics are: reserve your spot by September 23rd. The program starts on Saturday, October 21st. And before the beginning of the course, we're gonna have a course check-in by October 16th. Now, I can tell you a little bit about myself, that I bring together the business structure and the wellness structure together within that program. And I am, as a coach, a mentor, a master intuitive that use different tool to actually look at your chart, your cosmic situation. But as a coach, I support my clients in their growth, performance, and in their relationship, activating a successful relationship. So if registered by September 23rd, there's a certain fee. With all these benefits and material included, after that, fee will shift. And I encourage you to feel free actually to contact me if and schedule a 30-minute coaching or exploration session that we can look at specific situation or issue at hand that you have right now, and I can demonstrate how some of the distinction of this program actually will shift the circumstances in 30 minutes. You can schedule it on my website, and of course, you can, any questions, just shoot me an email. I appreciate your willingness to look at it, and I wouldn't promote it as much as I wouldn't be as passionate as I am about this if I didn't think it's working. As someone who been a meditator for over 2 decades, this actually shifted my meditation practice, has changed to become a prolonged meditation interception through the day. It shifts my habits, my interaction, my own enjoyment of experience, as well as my level of performance. Thank you for listening, and I hope to talk to you soon.